Right.
Hello and welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
And I'm Lauren.
Pull up a chair or sit on the floor, but I recommend a chair. And we'll start today with our breath. Do our seated warm-ups for our hips. Rock about, stay strong, and have some fun. Ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Seated breath. We'll take a seat on the edge of your chair there. Take one hand, place it on the belly. Take the other hand, place it on the chest. And first, with the closed mouth, breathe in through the nose and into the chest. It may lift the way I did right there. Exhale. Repeat one more, breathing into the chest. Maybe you feel your shoulders lift and the rib cage flare, and then exhale. Let's do that same thing through the belly. Breathing into the belly through the nose. Keeping that chest calm. And exhale. Repeat again, breath into the belly. And exhale. Keep things calm by closing the window. Listen to the breath.
Sorry.
Breathe in the nose and also out the nose. Repeat with our holds this time. Let's breathe in together starting now. 3, 2, and hold with a full belly. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold empty with that full belly. Empty belly. Now breath in. And hold full. Exhale for 4. Hold empty for 4. Now repeat 5 breaths in quick. Out. In. Out. In. Out. 2 more in. Out. 1 more. Out. Now big breath in. Hold. Relax the fingertips. Relax the toe tips. And for 4 more seconds, hold on to that breath. And exhale. Play with those breath holds to help you sleep, to help be efficient, and to challenge every part of your physical body, including your breath and your lungs. That's important too. From here, let's get back to that chair warm-up. You've done your toilet drills already, the toe lifts, the arch pulls, and if you haven't, maybe check some of those basics videos that are still online for the membership, and maybe you can find them on the YouTube channel as well. Don't forget about those basics. We're going to move on from the ankles and gently get right in to the knees. So sitting on the edge of the chair like Lauren is here, let's hold behind a knee. And very slow, we're looking for that nice little rotation at the knee. Great. Does it move just a little? Are we avoiding that sickled ankle? If you feel that movement between the foot and the knee, you're probably using your ankle too much. And if you don't feel much or don't see much, you're also probably doing it right. Let's place it down. And the same thing on the other side. A little bit of the external rotation, that inseam cue to come forward, and then internal rotation the other direction. Avoiding the sickled foot and lightly try to drive that action happening at the knee. Perform 1 or 2 more repetitions. Sitting tall as Lauren is here, supporting hands on the backs of the knee to help the weight. And then finish 1 more rotation in, and then place it down. Repeat to the other side. Hold the back of the leg, externally rotate at the knee. Gently bend the knee all the way. Then gripping with the hamstring just a little bit, no need to crush it. Take your time as you extend through the knee. 1/1000 and slow in, no slingshots allowed. Then at the knee, do a casual turn in, then add the deep knee bend as allowed. Lightly grip with the hamstring, and then encourage the knee to stay in that extension pattern as we're rolled in on the knee just a little bit. And then nice and slow, no slingshots allowed, return back. Let's do that one more time. So at the knee, external rotation, Then add that nice knee bend. Find the way to support the hamstring on the back as we extend through the front knee. In an amazing way here, Lauren's upper body posture isn't changing. The cheat we'd all make is to slouch back, stay tall, and for one more repetition, internal rotation on the knee. Add the nice deep knee bend, and from there, as Lauren just did, nice and slow on the extension, and then slow to bend, return to the floor. Whew. Holy hip flexor on that. Same thing on the other side. Use those hands to support the back of the leg, holding some of the weight. Start with that gentle external rotation at the knee, and then add your deep knee bend. Grip it with the hamstrings in the back, but allow the knee to extend through the quads on the front. 1/1000, and slow bend through the knee. Then, internally rotate, avoid that sickled ankle, add deeper knee bend as allowed. Find the tension to support the knee extension through the hamstring as we extend, nice and slow. I saw Lauren checking out my core there. I felt maybe like I was slumping. And then nice and slow knee bend. We're gonna do that one more time each. External rotation, add the deep knee bend. Nice and controlled at first, look to extend at the knee. 1/1000, slow and control back in. Then at the knee again, internally rotate, recalibrate that posture, and then nice and slow, extension or straightness through the knee, and control all the way back home and down. How's that going, Lauren?
Great.
That looks heavy today.
They are heavy. They're always heavy.
Let's take a hand and place one on your bum cheek, like that. Then take the other hand and cup the top of the hip flexor there. Can you squeeze your butt cheek? Okay. Can you fire your hip flexor? Can you feel the difference? Let's just do the same thing on the other side. One hand goes on the top of the hip crease. The other hand reaches around to the bum. Could you fire your butt cheek? Then could you fire the hip flexor, excuse me? And then we'll go back to the original side. Now, with that nice grip, hip flexor cupped on the front, bum cheeks light squeeze on the back, can you squeeze your butt and keep the front calm? And hold for 5. Here.
The front or the back?
The front. And then relax. Same side, go back to the butt cheek squeeze in the back. Can you feel that bum cheek start to turn on? You might sit up a little bit taller as you do. And then relax. And push the foot through the floor to feel this hip flexor turn on. And relax. Just 2 on the other side as well. Cup the hip on the front. Take that hand and grab the bum. Squeeze your butt cheek, which might again lift you up out of the chair just a little bit. But as you squeeze the butt cheek, we want this to stay calm or off. Then start to push a foot through the floor. The heel might come up, something similar here, and hopefully that could turn on the hip flexor in the front. Return to a flat foot. One more time of each. Bum cheek squeeze in the back. Feel that for about 10 seconds. And then relax. And then push the foot through the floor, which again could flex that hip and turn on the front. And relax. Whew. Wiggle that out just for a second. And now one of the harder tasks for the hips. Sitting up tall on the edge. Take that breath and brace with our control. Maybe pull up your pants if you need to. And then take an ankle and place it there without leaning back. My chair lifted a little bit. That was a little bit of a cheat. But from here now, ultimately we want the knee to go up, but press from the hip down, reach out of that hip socket, and slowly bring the knee towards the midline or the shoulders. Now we want to go low, but go up to go low and push out of that hip socket, closing that gate. Same thing. Reach low to go high, Hopefully, again, that's not pinching on the adductor or the groin side of things and really feeling that nice pull from the bum. And then to go low, think going up out of that hip as we cast away. One more time. Pull low to go high. Activate these lateral posterior butt muscles here. And then go up and out of that hip to return to low. Now the final challenge from here could be with hands or no hands to lift that leg with control and return to a seated position. Same thing on the other side. Sit tall, brace those abs, avoiding the cheats, which is the rotation. Try to stay nice and tall. Let's go. That's the harder side. Whew. So here we are. From here, ultimately I want that knee up. So let's dig it down, engage that lateral butt, and then pull towards up. Make room in the hip by taking things wide. Now I want to go down, but in that hip energy, send energy up over here, and then slowly lower the hip. Then reach out of that hip socket as we're going for takeoff. We're going outside to bring it all the way back towards inside. And then lift up out of that hip as we go fishing or casting that leg out towards the side. Repeat that one more time, reaching out of the hip, looking to engage that lateral posterior butt musculature. And then one more time, go up to go down. And then with control, no cheat is allowed, return to the floor. Shake it out. Anything else you want to do from seated, Lauren?
Nope.
Great. We'll use these chairs still as we get into our all fours, or our quadruped all fours extension through the spine. So let's get up. Using your box or on the floor. Extension. Let's start with the tailbone. With the head looking between the hands, lightly tip your tailbone to the ceiling or the front of the hips to the floor. Then pull hands to knees, create tension through the abs, and use your lowest abdominals there to only round your low back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and now push the floor down and forward and lightly tip your tailbone towards the ceiling again. Keep your shoulders over top of wrists. Let's pull on the floor to create tension. And then from the extension shape in the spine, we're going to tuck our tail underneath by actively recruiting the abdominals on the front. The upper back shape doesn't change. For 3 more seconds. 2, 1, and then push the floor forward to create tension as you slowly push your tailbone back. Let's repeat 2 more here as we pull on that floor. And then activate those low abdominals as we flex or round the low back. And then push the floor forward, tipping. Repeat 1 more. Pull the hands together, tucking under those hips. Only the low back spaces should be moving at this point. And then push the floor away to extend the spine. And then extend the hips to a tall or standing position. Shake that out. Hopefully that felt engaging through the core. Repeating now for the upper back. With the hands on the ground or the box or chair, keep your head looking at the hands. Keep your face looking at the hands. From here, pull down and push the heart forward. Keep the head in the same position. Hold for time, like 3, 2, and then just stay there but relax the tension. Same thing, open those hands, grip the floor, push into the ground, and try to push the heart forward without the low back shape changing. And if you're feeling the intensity through your spine and rib cage and shoulder blade areas, we're doing it mostly right. And 3 more seconds, and then relax. I can't see my shape, but I hope it's small. It doesn't need to be big like yoga. Let's go. Pull on the floor. Create tension and push your chest forward without your face moving for 5, 4, 3, 2, and just stay and chill. And one more repetition here, final one today. I'm pushing the floor forward, gripping down, and then keeping my abs engaged, checking in on that head neck that it's not moving. And I know it doesn't look like much, but I'm sure starting to sweat here for 3 more seconds of work. And then relax, push the floor away, extend those hips, and shake out. So again, hopefully that felt the right amount of intensity through the rib cage right here. Lauren's gonna grab the balance aid here. I'm gonna head to the back, and we'll be working, or Lauren's gonna head to the back, and we'll be working on our hip bar here with our chair apparatus. So again, don't make this necessarily about the balance, integrity, and quality for the hips here. Start with our dorsiflex ankle, that's pulling the foot to the shin. And from here, flex the hip, meaning bringing the leg forward, and try to cross your midline just a little bit. Then that external rotation in the hip opens to the side. Then we'll do that internal rotation on the hip, turn the inseam down, and then reaching towards the back, stiffening the legs as we go. We're in that hip extension of the legs in the back, and then use your front of the hip to pull that leg forward. Repeat in the alternate direction. Extend, lightly crossing that midline. Then the external rotation of showing that inseam forward, reaching out, stiffening out that leg, bringing it to forward, and now think butt cheek forward to bring the leg back. Repeat one more time. Pull in that we're adducting into this hip. Bring it towards across the midline. Stiffen knees, external rotation, taking that leg out towards the side. Internal rotation, turning the inseam down. Reaching towards the back with those stiff knees. That's a cue for me and you at home. And then pull from the hip flexor or the front of the hip forward. Then use the butt to bring the leg back. Super slow lock and key rotations in those hips. Are your knees straight? Again, that's a cue for me and you both. Pull to center, and then butt cheek brings that leg back. And relax. 2 can be a ton. Maybe watch the first one and join us for the second if you're new to this drill. Build that intensity and the quality of movement in the hip. Core stability, hip mobility. Start with that dorsiflex action in the foot, pulling to shin. Then flexing the hip tight to the body, like crossing our midline. Then that external rotation in the hip to open out to the side. Then somewhere out at 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, we do that internal rotation on the hip, reaching out and hugging that center line out the back. The front of the hip helps bring that leg forward. Then extend to the back, lightly crossing that midline as allowed. And then an external rotation in the hip. The inseam gets forward by the time we're at the side here. And then pull it to center. Take away daylight between those legs. And then extend the hip back. Repeat one more time. Adducting or finding that lightly crossed body part here at the center. And that external rotation helps us take that to the side. Our internal rotation around, towards the back, hugging center, and then flexing forward. And final repetition here, to the back, open, keep the knees stiff, keep those hips facing forward, to center, and again, the back of the body to bring the leg underneath. Whew. And relax. Chairs off to the side, although you might need that balance aid as well. From here, we'll get into our Jane Fondu exercises, coordinating knees, ankles, and hips, and challenging our balance.
With feet in parallel.
Nice.
Let's first start with our knees pushing over our toes. Knees push over toes, keeping that upper body upright, eyes up, and then stand up all the way tall. Squeeze your glutes, pull up your kneecaps. Repeat again. Knees over toes. This time, see if your heels can leave the floor and you can find a light toe balance. Knees still point forward. Then heels come down and then extend up tall again, squeezing glutes, pulling up kneecaps. Knees over toes. Find a light toe balance. Maybe sink a little lower. Find your heels trying to stay at the same height and then extend all the way to tall. This time rolling up to find a double toe balance up on your tiptoes. Stay here for about 10 seconds. Pull your kneecaps up. Squeeze your glutes. Brace your abs. Find steadiness. 3, 2, now slow lower. Both heels landing now. Good. Knees over toes again. Roll up to toesies. Maybe sink. Heels come down. Then back up to toes. Maybe sink. Heels come down. Stand up tall, roll right up to that balance again. 10 seconds up here. Squeezing glutes, extending hips, kneecaps up, pushing down to grow into the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2. If you can, stay up here. Knees push over toes. Find your heels. Stay up tall. Find your toes. Knees go a little further. Find your heels. One more time. Up to toes, maybe a little lower. Find your heels. And then all the way up tall. One more two-footed balance. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Pull kneecaps up. Squeeze glutes. This time, could you look around your room, moving your head but keeping your steady balance? For 4, 3, 2, then back to center. Slow descent, heels land now. Good. From here, we're going to forward fold and walk ourselves out into a plank. Standing up tall, gently tuck your chin towards your chest. Start pulling on your abs and your rib cage, keeping your ribs as close to your hips as you can as you roll down. Keep pulling all the way down. Once you're in that rag doll or that full forward fold position, let's have a slight bend in our knees. And now try to stay as compressed or as close to your shins as you can and try to straighten your knees. And repeat. Gentle bend. Try to get a little closer. And then try to straighten and stay there. And then this time we're going to walk ourselves out to our high plank. I'm going to do this from my hands. If you feel better on your wrists going to your elbows, do so. From here, drop your hips. Squeeze your butt. Tucking under, pulling your lats down, engaging your core, not letting me move you, pulling the floor together underneath you for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Push your hands away from you so that your butt goes back up in the air. Start walking your hands back towards your feet. And now to stand up, you're in your full ragdoll. From the bottom of your tailbone, start stacking one vertebrae up. Use your core. So your tailbone, then your low back, then your stomach, ribs, shoulders, head. Nice. Shake it out. From there, we'll try our Jane Fondas again. Fondues. We're just going to try it on one leg. So if you're going to need a balance aid, let's get that. I'm going to get one because this isn't easy.
Note taken.
From here.
Duly noted.
Stand on that inside leg. Outside leg is up just in that coup de pied or where your toe knuckle hits your ankle knuckle. Excuse me. From here, both knees are still forward no matter what you're doing. Single knee pushes over 5 toes. Find that, and then stand up all the way, extending your hip. Repeat. Knee over toe. Stand up all the way. This time with little assistance or some assistance from your chair, roll up and find a single leg balance. Find a rise on your single leg and hold for 4, 3, 2. Now control that descent. Heel comes down. Good. Knee back over toe. For a bonus, if you'd like, could you roll up to those toes so heel comes off the floor? Then heel comes, that's the worst balance aid. Then heel comes back down. Sorry, we should still be down here. Stand all the way up, tall, tall. Now find a rise again. Hold, 3, 2, controlled descent. One more time. Knee over toe. Maybe find a single leg toe balance with a bent knee. Then put the heel back down. Then extend up. And last time, single leg balance on a rise. 3, 2, controlled descent. Switch legs, shake it out.
Those calves are burning.
I recommend having a level chair and a level floor. Otherwise, you have a loud chair.
Tippy, tippy.
Ankle, toe knuckle to that ankle bone again, second side. Both hips forward, standing up tall to start. First, we just go knee over toe, and then stand up tall. I want both knees going forward, but I don't want them squishing together for balance. Knee over toe, stand up all the way tall, but now roll up to that single leg balance and hold for 4, 3, 2, control down, knee over toe. Could you find your toe balance down here? Keeping that knee over, roll up to the toes, find your heel, extend, toe balance, 4, 3, 2, control down. One more time, knee over toe. Maybe find toes again. Then heel heavy. Extend, last single leg balance. Try to rise and grow up to the ceiling. 4, 3, 2, controlled descent, and shake it out. That's hard.
That is tough.
Back down via our forward fold to our plank. So tall again, chin tucks, then pull on abs. Pull, 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 compress. Getting as close and folded in half as you can. Maybe this time you find you have more space after the last time. Hang out for your couple seconds again. Try to bend your knees. Fold more. Now try to stay there as you straighten your knees. And repeat. Bend your knees. Try to fold more. Try to stay there as you straighten your knees. Then walk yourself out, either from your elbows or your hands. Drop those hips. Scoop down into your plank. Squeeze your glutes. Pull the floor underneath you. Brace your abs. Take a kick in the stomach. Take a punch in the butt. Keep breathing. Pull everything together. 5, 4, 3, 2. Then push the floor away. Hips lift to the ceiling. Trying to put your heels down as you walk your hands back. Slowly stand up, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae until the way tall. Shake it out, grab a quick sip.
Yeah. Working on that horse stance. Working on the horse stance. Let's just do one quick series of a horse stance walk. And we will be spending just a little bit more time in that goddess pose, horse stance, sumo squat, insert name, wide feet. To start, let's set up in that first position. Peel a foot off the floor and land toe ball heel slightly ahead. Then let's stay at that same level and slide in to replicate a squat or a plie shape. And slide that other leg out slightly ahead, toe ball heel, and push through the straightening leg, accepting that load on the bend. Then pull that leg in, replicating that diamond plie shape, and then point out, toe ball heel, pull, and then push. Feel both opportunities to pull and push. Then from here, we'll slide into that diamond plie, slide out. This is now pulling me to about here, and then I'm boom, pushing through the other leg. One more time each. Diamond shaped plie, reach, pull, and then push. And then pull in, diamond shaped plie, slide ahead, pull the heel to the buttock, and then push. And then pull in, and push down to stand up. And then shake it. We'll be using our push-up as well, but let's get to the floor this time through our get up. So, take a hand across the chest or overhead as available, the leg you can touch to drop back in the lunge. Beautiful hips there, Lauren. We'll talk about that later. Looking great. Then open the leg to the side. Chop, rotate and hinge. Load up, sweep through. Find an elbow. And I've been working on this as well. Can you take 5 or 10 seconds to find the floor from here? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there we are. From here, let's flip over onto the front side. I'll be using my modified push-ups here today, and I'm going to do about 5. Using your preferred push-up stance, let's do about 5 as a maximum. In, or rather on, go. And a breath in, and a press 1. Our head, our shoulders, and our hips travel together. This is rep number 3. I definitely have 3 more, so I'm going to do 2 more. That's 4, and then 1 more for 5, and then rest. Let's return to our backside and pattern that get up to standing. So we would take a hand either up to the ceiling or across the chest and push, initiating a roll with the bent leg to pull on the elbow. Elbow to tall sit to load over top, and then sweep the leg, bring the hand up, squaring up a lunge, and then hi-ya to stand tall. Get out. Movements like that, horse stance, and our movements coming up now will aim to help make that sweep and those component parts of the get up more available. To start, first position feet. Transfer weight to one side, and then gently step fall onto that other leg. Pull the heels together to bend the knees to our horse stance. If I do it my quarter turn, I hope that I'm doing it well in the sense of staying up and down. Could you get lower? Hi, Lauren, how's it going?
Good.
Could you get lower? And then for one more time, could you get lower? Now push the feet away and take 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And at the top, are your hips fully forward? Repeat. Pull those heels together. Take time pulling yourself down into our squat. We're trying to stay nice and upright with the shoulders staying over top of the hips. That's as low as I want to go in my first rep. But then I'm going to ask to go 1 millimeter lower. And then keeping my tailbone long, I'll try 1 more millimeter lower. And then push the feet down and away for 4, 3, 2, full extension knees and hips at the top. Personally, I think 3 is going to be a ton, so let's do 1 more of those. Pulling the heels together to feel those adductor tensions build. Get to your safe low. Keep the upper body tall and sink 1 millimeter lower. Pull the knees towards out, but keep those big toe mounds down. Lauren is super low. I'm gently trying to be competitive with myself, but also with her. And then for 1 more time, can you get a little lower? And then push the feet down and away for 5, 4, 3, 2, full extension. Heel toe together. Wiggle that out just a little bit. Let's get back down to the ground through our get up on the other side.
Other side.
Which I think is this one. As Lauren cued there, the leg we can touch, drops back. Keep the hip forward. That's tricky. Good. Then open, rotate and hinge. Grab the floor, load the shoulder over top of that wrist, and sweep. From the sweep, find the elbow. Make sure we're in a nice strong packed position here. 10 seconds. Maybe grabbing onto that knee, will help. Maybe just keep going like Lauren there.
4,
9,
3, 2.
8,
I started when you said 10 seconds.
6, and down. And then flip over. Push up time again. So I hit 5 that first set. and I'm just looking for a nice consistent number, so I'm going to try for 5 again. Hopefully you could do more, and if you can't, that's okay too, but finish on a high quality rep. For me, that's rep number 5. Modified position, let's do it. And the core tension, like Lauren's planks from the warm-up. Yep, there's our 2. Yep, and 3. 4, and then last one, 5. Before we come up from the push-up, just say you're at the top of the push-up in the plank, where would your hands be? Mine would be here. What about you, Lauren?
Sorry, are we in a plank or a push-up?
Push-up, push-up. In a push-up's position, where would you be here? Then where would you be at the very bottom of the push-up? Check in on those elbows. Try to keep them tighter towards the body, avoiding that elevation, internal rotation. Keep them a little bit lower to stay strong in your push-up. Let's go to the back, come back up on that get up side. I believe that was my right hand across. So push through the hip, pull on that arm, get to that tall sit. Push through the floor to load up, open, extend, sweep the leg through, and then push to stand. And relax. Shake it out. I like to finish today with just a little bit more squatting, and we'll come back to our hips. Goddess pose, sumo squat,
Excellent.
horse stance.
Great.
Let's hybrid. Let's do that first from that goddess pose. Kind of a crazy hard move. So if we open up to our horse stance, goddess pose, etc., pull the heels down to get towards your safe low. Hike a hip. Hike the other hip. One more of each. Hike a hip. Hike the other hip. Then tip your tailbone back or front hips forward, and then scoop it up like an excavator. And then dump it out the front into the dump truck, and then scoop it. And then for here, let's just stand straight up. Now let's try to do those similar actions in a little bit more of a circle, drawing that circle on the floor. Pull the heels together to get towards low. Here, I'm going to pull my hip around. Use your imagination. Maybe you think of a hula. Maybe you think of rings around Saturn. Maybe you think of twerking. One more time, or one more half repetition for me to bring it to the full. That's a lot of work. Let's stand up in between. I went one direction only, so now I'm going to try the other.
Me too.
Heels pulling together. And now I'm going to go to the back right, around the back to the back left. Personally, I find those front corners super hard to get to. And then that's my one revolution. Can we do that one more time? Towards out the back.
I did it twice.
Towards the front. Feel that work. Back to center. And then, holy cow, push up and shake out. Now, let's get back to a more tame or narrow stance in a lunge. Standing tall, let's bend the outside leg, in this case, my right. Bend. Then extend through the hip, then find the ground with the toe, ball, heel, keep the front shin vertical. Check in with your flashlights. Are they facing forward? Check in with the feet. Are they on parallel train tracks? Keep the shin vertical. Keep the hip tucked. Heel heavy in the back and bend the knee. That may have opened a window where you could tuck under the hip a little more. Then keeping the hip forward, straighten the back knee to say holy cow to the work intensity through our hips. Then take time to slowly bend that knee. If we pull the front hip in, we might be able to get a little lower in the back. Keep the heel heavy. Keep the hip forward and straighten out the leg to the back. Then push off the back leg, bring the knees to parallel, and then make room in the hips as you drag under the toes, bringing the leg forward. Same thing on the other side. Bend the knee, Extend the hip and then lengthen out the leg at the knee. Toe, ball, heel, and keep this front knee vertical. Hips forward, feet train tracks, then slowly bend the back knee and then straighten the leg, keeping the hip driving forward. One more time, bend that back knee, keep the heel heavy for an extra second or two now, and then straighten out that back leg. Then push off the back, bringing a knee forward, and clear the leg underneath by growing on the other side. Check that out. We're gonna do it one more time before we finish today. How did that feel in the hips? Did you feel it in the low back? If you feel it in the low back, we need to modify what you're doing. We want that intensity to be in the hips and not the back. The goal again is if I'm in my stance here in the tuck, that as I'm straightening out my knee, my hips don't go to the back, but rather my leg straightens, but my hip is going forward. Try that one more time. Stand tall, bend a knee. Extend the hip, toe ball heel on the landing out the back, keeping the front knee nice and vertical. Hips forward, feet on train tracks, ready to go. From here, bend the back knee, pulling the front leg in to make room for that to happen. Now keep your hip pushing forward and push your heel back, extending the hip and the knee. Then bend the knee, perhaps tuck under the hip, and stay at that height and make it safe work as we try to straighten out that back leg for 2 more seconds. Let's do that one more time. Bend the knee with the heel heavy, then maybe pull off. Is your hip still forward? Now from that height, connect the heel towards the floor and safely build that intensity in the hip for 3 more seconds. Now push off that back leg, bring the knee to parallel, and extend the leg underneath. One more time. Bend the outside knee. Extend the hip, and then toe ball heel on a landing. Front knee stays vertical. Feet on train tracks, hips facing forward, and from there, bend the back leg at the knee. Keep the heel heavy. Straighten out the leg at the knee, keeping the hips facing forward. Slowly from that place, bend the knee, pull the knee into that adduction or center line, and again, extend to straighten the knee. For the final one, we'll add the heel lift if we wish. Pull the front leg in, get towards your low position, keep the hip forward, and then, this is the hardest, or could be the hardest, as we try to straighten out that back leg, keeping the hip forward, woo, and then push off the back, knees to parallel, and extend. Let's return to our chairs, our finishing move, just coming back up to that upper back, and doing a nice seated rotation. Chair, check. We can do this from standing too. From standing, I would assume a wider stance again, really trying to lock in the hips. The chair locks in our hips much the same. Sitting tall, I like to place my hands across my chest or up top like my camp caribou. Right now, we'll be here. Sitting tall, rotate your head and neck. Grow taller in the pursuit. As the crown reaches towards the ceiling, we rotate the head and neck. Now keep your face looking forward and slowly rotate through the rib cage or turning the shoulders, keeping the head forward. We love that individual approaches for both, but also the coordinated approach is useful too. So now rotate a direction of your choice. I'm going to the left. My chin and sternum are in a line. Rotate tall to center. Same thing, chin and sternum moving as a team. As we add the rotation, maybe recalibrate that head and neck to stay honest, and then return to center. There's also this very gentle side bend. If we incorporate the side bend, stay over top of your base of support being the chair, versus doing our side bend and reaching too far out. Adding a rotation, side bend for multiple sets. Let's all rotate to the left so we're all using the same cues. Hands across chest. Stay tall. Take a breath in and rotate to that left direction, head and shoulders moving as a team. Now side bend, staying over top of your base of support, and then pull to tall. Perhaps take a breath in and retwist towards the left. At that place, take a breath in and rotate and then side bend. And then bring ourselves to tall. Repeat one more time with our rotation, our slight and light casual side bend here. Then pull to tall and activate the core to return to center. Same thing on the other side. Maybe relax those shoulders and reset. Last time to the right. Sitting tall, add that rotation as we grow. Incorporate our side bend with an exhale, and then pull tall. Take a breath in, add the rotation, and the modest side bend where the rib cage is staying over top of the hips. Pull to center and tall, and then add one more rotation as you wish. Incorporate our side flexion bend one more time, and then pull to tall, core up, and return to center. And shake. Thank you very much for following along with today's Restore and Recharge practice. This style of practice with our body weights and chairs will be consistent in our programming through the month of October. As we said earlier, Wednesday will have some slight tweaks to it as we try to expand our movement and the implements that we might use. It doesn't need to be a wood bell or a kettlebell. It could be a light ball or a heavy book or something that you have at home. My name's Ian.
I'm Lauren.
Together, we're Bars and Bells, and thank you for your membership and your attention and participation in today's class. We have fun training with our simple and strong skills and encourage you to try our other programs, share your membership with your friends and family, and encourage you to come back. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll be here with some of our usual programming and back on Tuesday with some kettlebells. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Enjoy the sunshine.
See you later.